Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So in today's video I'm going to talk about validation and approval, and how things work around these two things, how these two things play an important role, and how we go through a lot of trauma because of validation and approval. So I mean, it's absolutely natural for a human to seek validation and approval, and right validation and right approval really motivates a person. It helps them to have a higher self-esteem, more confidence, and a person feels more motivated to even perform better. So yes, validation and approval is good, and these are absolutely human instincts and absolutely natural human behavior to look out for, validation and approval. Now the problem happens, with the toxic bunch of people. These toxic bunch of people, will never validate you or approve of you. Now these toxic people can be your friends outside world, or these toxic people can be inside of your house, your family members. So all they as it is feel very entitled, these toxic people around you, and they would take in whatever you'll give it to them, and they'll take it as believing or as having a sense of entitlement that it's okay to take from you. But when it comes to validation, they won't validate you or give you the approval, and because of that you go on doing more and more for them, and they just don't give you what you want. Now you need to understand that validation and approval are two of the things which is often manipulated as well by the toxic people. Yes, as a part of human nature, when we are praised or when we are encouraged and when we are approved and we are validated, we really feel good. And sometimes what happens is, I have seen in a lot of parents and outside world as well, that they don't validate all the time. They don't give that reward, that validation and approval reward all the time. They give it, they train, let's first talk about the parent thing. Parents give validation and approval when the child does things according to them. Then they are entitled, the kids are entitled for the validation and approval, and this goes in a lot of majority of our childhood. Parents do this, and this in a way gives out a signal that the kid has to do in a specific way that pleases, or the way that has been laid out by the parent, and only then in return the kid would get the validation and approval. And if the kid is not doing what the parent wants, the kid is going to even do more, because the kid is already used to the validation and approval thing. And once the parents give the silent treatment, the kid tends to do even more, tends to even overdo things, so that they get that validation and approval as a reward. So this is the dynamics in a parent, a caregiver and a child's relationship. In a love relationship, if you see one partner only validates when it's his or her way that you are performing or doing, and otherwise the person shows a cold shoulder, and the person is very silent. So one tends to overdo. We become so much enslaved by this idea of reward that motivates us, the approval and validation that motivates us, and especially from closed one, that we keep on doing things, we keep overdoing things also, so that I can get more praises, I can get more validation and approval. But if you see in the outside world, employers, they don't praise the employee all the time. Once in a while, it's like a bait. Once in a while, oh, you have done good, and that's it. And the staff keeps on doing, the employee keeps doing it even more and more, and they outperform themselves just to get that validation, because they do feel good. They are connected to the brand, they're connected to the workspace, and when the boss gives them that validation, it's like a reward for them for all their hard work. So often this reward system, which includes validation and approval, is often misused as well. Yes, I mean, overall, I personally believe that one should reward, or there should be no reward and no reward thing. I think one should validate and approve good, and one should disagree and disapprove what is bad. I think that is a very simple thing which anyone and everyone can follow. When manipulation gets into these things go more crazier, these things go more wacky, creepy and crazy. So then problem begins. So often what happens is that we are so fond of getting this validation and approval by close ones or the loved ones, that we keep on doing things, and in return we don't get validated. So one needs to understand, like in my previous videos also I have explained, not everyone has the same emotional bandwidth, not everyone has the same maturity level, not everyone has the same amount of evolvement. So you really can't expect everyone to validate how you are, or what you feel like, or what you're doing. Some people may take it for granted, and those people can be toxic, because it's a human nature. Praise, be thankful, have gratitude, and approve and validate everything that is good around you, be it your own, be it someone else. I mean, what's wrong in making someone's day good? There is no harm in some kind words, and if it really motivates, and of course if someone who's close, why not motivate them and encourage them to, so that they feel good and they good in life. So we need to understand those who don't validate, despite of taking the things from you, despite of living off you. I think those are the toxic people. These can be your family, these can be your loved ones, these can be anyone, and these toxic people really don't deserve to be in your life, because you need to understand, if there is no rationality in addressing to what is good, in addressing to what is bad, being critical about something which is not right, but being absolutely good in handling and managing good situations, good outcomes, good results. So I mean, calling a good and calling a bad something bad is absolutely normal and okay, and this is what the basic protocol should be in all relationships. And one shouldn't try and cripple the other person, the doer. One shouldn't manipulate and make the doer do more, make the doer experience burnt out. And I mean, there's no harm in appreciating someone's effort. And if someone controls that person is immature, that person is toxic, narcissist, it could be anyone. So yes, often validation and approval cripples us also. We keep on trying to please those who will never be pleased, and in that course we forget to see what is around us, and the ones who would be highly appreciative about our efforts. We neglect those who truly appreciate our efforts, and we keep on doing things for those who really doesn't deserve it. So that is what these issues around validation and approval circles, and often these two things are misused, and people are to such an extent I would say have become abusive and toxic, that they don't leave any opportunity, not at all, not even a single opportunity, in using things to either manipulate, gaslight, or use against people and utilize people. And that is a really sad truth, that most of the relationships are now based on usage, how much they can use out of you. And this is again the validation and approval thing is again an aspect of manipulation in order to further establish more control, and in order to make a person feel worthless without validation and approval. So these are, very dark psychological aspects, when validation and approval is misused. So yeah, I mean, this was all about validation and approval, and those who are not validating your efforts, and those who are not approving of your efforts, and those who are not appreciating your efforts, I think you should distance yourself from such toxic people, because they will never appreciate it, and you will be burnt out doing for them. You will go on doing for them and they will never appreciate it. So this works the other way around. Instead, it should be do for those who are appreciative about for your efforts, about the efforts that you put in, the things that you do for them, those who appreciate. But those who have sense of entitlement and they just least care and not thankful, I think you should not seek validation, approval, and at the most even do things for such people. Those who are not appreciating all your efforts, and those who are just taking it but not even giving a kind word in return. So definitely it should be a two-way process. If someone does for you, you also do for that person. But one way it's not good, and one way if someone is trying to cripple you, and whereas in you're constantly doing for someone and someone is not validating, that person is not right. So stop investing your time and energy in doing things for that person. Yeah. So, and life doesn't stop if one person doesn't validate. Maybe that's not the right person. There are 10,000 other people sitting who will validate all your efforts, who will validate your thought process or the way how you are or whatever you are doing. So I mean, don't get enslaved by one person's validation and approval. Yeah, I mean, like, don't let validation and approval affect you. Build up a close circle whose validation and approval really influences you, motivates you to do good. But otherwise, don't be so prone and vulnerable to anybody's validation, approval, or disapproval, and get influenced with it. Create a healthy boundary and avoid toxic people, and stop investing in toxic people, because they'll keep on taking from you and they'll never approve. I have seen such things happening in love relationship. I've seen such things happening in parent-children relationship. I have seen such things happening in work areas. That's how it is. So yes, don't let validation and approval play on you. If it's not coming from one side for long, you need to stop seeking it from that person. You need to stop it. Maybe that person is not designed, or maybe that person doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to give you the validation, approval. The person just wants to take it. So it's a two-way process, whether it is emotion, relationship, any action, behavior, everything is two-way. I mean, like, one should be thankful, one should have gratitude. So yes, avoid such people, and don't get crippled with this entire idea of seeking validation and approval. It's okay, you validate your own self. If you have loved ones who validate you and accept you, and they approve of you, it's fine. You don't need others. So don't get tied up with all these validation of everyone, approval of everyone. No, everyone is different, and you just can't let your life run on others' approval and validation. It's your life. Take charge, and that's it. So don't fall prey, don't become victim of such predators who are into using validation and approval in manipulating you. So please take care of yourself. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below, and please take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings. It's one life, so please kindly live it your way, and just get rid of all these problems and blocks of validation. What if someone does not approve? What if someone does not validate? It's okay, leave it. You can't keep on pleasing everyone. You can't keep on begging and seeking validation and approval from anyone and everyone. Not everyone is the same, and not everyone sees you in the way how you see yourself. So let it go. Yeah, so think about it. Take care of yourself. Bye.